Well, hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to another fun episode of What the Muppet, our episode 28, I believe.
Gosh, 28.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine. Not really. We did 27. I mean, 28 does come after 27. Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing that we've done 28 of these. Thank you so much, everybody.
Yes, and we have a really great special guest with us today. We have Rhett, the Guinness World Record Holder for the largest Muppet memorabilia collection. Hi, Rhett.
Yay, thanks for having me on the podcast.
Oh my God. No,
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, really.
Thank you for being here.
In our pregame, Bria put this, I think, really well. We feel like we have Muppet royalty with us today, so thank you, man. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I haven't really been in the community for a long time, so it's kind of good to get back out there and kind of be out here.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you here and super excited that you wanted to play our makeshift Muppet game with us.
Yeah, there's two or three slips I really hope we pick.
Yeah,
right. Oh my
So
God.
I'd love
but
that.
I will side with Puppet Masters of None. If we pull Walter,
It's a no-go.
we might put him back in for a later
That's
time.
awesome.
Let's just act like we
Yeah.
don't know anything about Walter.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I didn't know that Walter was so disliked. All opinions accepted.
This has been a real learning experience.
I always had beef with him because I just was like, as like a kid when that movie came out, I was always like, his collection is so small, and he thinks he's the biggest.
I
He's the
suppose.
biggest fan,
Yeah.
and he always says like, I'm the biggest fan, and I'm like, I love you, Walter, but I mean, Peter Lentz is super
Right.
good. I actually have an autograph from Peter Lentz he sent me, but
Really?
so I love the puppeteer, but
Yeah.
Walter is just not my guy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you hold that spot, so
We should properly introduce Rhett too. Yeah, I mean, for those that don't know, Rhett is the Guinness Book of World Records holder for the most Muppet memorabilia. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you couldn't tell that in his backdrop there,
watching, yeah.
that is not green screen, people. That is a real background right there. And we're looking
Yeah,
forward
and
to
like yeah. Oh,
looking
sorry.
forward to
Sorry.
diving into it with you and everything. No,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
We're
I was just saying,
looking
like, it
forward to
even goes further back there, and kind of that, like, there's a curve over it. It's not too much
wow.
further, but and then there's also some over. My room's really a weird shape, so it's kind of makes it really great to do this.
Cool.
Right.
Very cool.
We're so excited. We're gonna deep dive into the collection, looking at some of Rhett's favorite items and stuff in our Patreon episode. But for now, we're gonna get into these hats.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's this man has waited long enough. Let's dive into the hat.
Right. So we will start with our Muppet Fact / quote hat.
Mhm.
We'll see what we pull out of here. Rhett, you can pretend that you're pulling these slips. We'll be pulling them for you.
and for nice. Oh, please do that, everyone. With this and going forward with the Patreon, I just so Rhett knows and the audience knows, we do have questions for you, Matt. We do have a couple questions for you about your collection and about what you do.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We will be diving into that. You can get off
Cool.
too.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Appreciate that too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, kicking off our show, we are tied with yet another fact.
Tied. How about that?
Who would have thought?
That is weird. That is really weird. I didn't expect that. I thought one would have a lead by now.
What a plot twist. Yeah.
It is a twist.
Oh, you're supposed to pull. I pulled last time. I didn't see it. You read it.
Okay. And it looks like it's a fact. The visionary Jim Henson came up with the word Muppet in 1956 with the simple but highly creative formula of puppet plus marionette equals Muppet.
Wow. What a genius.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
There's been a lot of controversy on that fact because he, in a couple different interviews, at least if my memory serves right, I'm pretty sure like in a couple different interviews, sometimes he says that and sometimes he honestly just says it was random. So there's a lot of like, if you're depending on where you read and like if you read a biography versus like just like a book, there's a lot of different facts on that one. But he does say that, and it's really weird how he like kind of says it a couple different ways sometimes.
Yeah, maybe it's something like it was random, but then afterwards he was like, "Oh, that makes sense because of those two factors."
Yeah,
it could have been a subconscious thing. That it was random to start off with, but it was subconscious when he came up with it. So he kind of put the two together. it also, and I'm a person that loves facts and the real facts and finding out the end of the mystery and stuff like that. Sometimes it's with this universe, it's kind of fun to have gray area. It's kind of
Hmm.
fun to have things like
Mhm.
this where
Yeah.
we don't know,
Yeah.
was it this, was it that? Kind of adds the fun of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can see where Jim is coming from because my pen name was kind of that same way where I like came up with it. It's B.A. McCrae, and then I didn't realize until years later I have it McCrae after my great uncle that I never met, but he was really cool.
Hmm.
And
Oh,
little
okay.
did I know, right, and it's B.A. for my initials, but I didn't know that it was also his and his wife's initials as well. So that was like an afterthought. So I could see where Jim is coming from, where he like wouldn't realize that he accidentally geniusly did that.
I did the same thing with my secret family. When I was coming up with my fake name, but I should, well, we don't have to talk
Cut and
about that
post,
now.
cut and post.
It's all right. They don't. It's all right. They don't-
Family. Well, that is a cool fact to start off the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that one. That's a good one.
Yes.
You get to pick.
Yes,
Oh,
now
I'm sorry,
I get
Rhett.
to
We should let our
Yeah,
guests.
right. You get
Right,
to
yeah,
pick
you
out
pick.
of the
Oh,
Muppet.
I get to pick the really special one. All right, all
Yep.
right. Here my
Here we
hand
go.
goes.
Woo.
Oh, good. Oh, good job, both of you. Nice.
Okay,
Thank you, secret.
there we go. And I think we got one. Woo.
Nice, nicely
And
done.
what is it? What could it be? It's Crazy Harry.
Oh,
No way.
Dude,
I'm not gonna lie. I have been dude. I listen to I love your guys' podcast, but 95% of the time I'm just like, please don't pick Crazy Harry. Please don't pick Crazy Harry. Please don't pick the Great Muppet Caper because I want to talk about that when I go on. Oh my
Really?
gosh.
Oh my
Dude, if you guys would have picked
Awesome.
Great Muppet Caper or Crazy Harry, I just would have went off. I love Crazy Harry. He is
Oh my
number
gosh.
2 on my
Perfect.
favorite Muppets.
Really? I'm so
Number 1 is
excited.
Number 1's Gonzo. I mean,
Okay.
like I know James,
Right on. Tip of the hat.
yeah.
All right. But
But
that is awesome to hear.
I'm
I
so
love Crazy
excited.
Harry.
Being
Gosh,
honest,
I
one of
love
the
Crazy
things that I
Harry.
was nervous about was getting one that you wouldn't be too thrilled about or something. We,
Yeah.
we only get it's so random. I love
I
when it
mean,
happens like this.
I've yeah,
That's perfect.
yeah.
Good
I've
to
been
hear.
like narrowing it down and like picking out. So I mean, I don't want to create controversy, but I was glad that Miss Piggy got pulled. I was glad that a couple of other people that I didn't want to talk about. I was just like, oh,
Awesome.
that's good.
Yeah.
But
Perfect.
that's so nuts. Oh my gosh,
Right?
I'm pumped. Okay.
Okay, I love when we have guests on and they can be witness to this like random craziness, how it works
Crazy.
out so perfectly, because I'm afraid that people think that we're like
Yeah.
setting everything up, but it is crazy that it's like random, but it works out so well.
We I think we're creative. I think
Yeah.
we're all very talented people in our own rights. We ain't that creative. We had to come up with like like to be able to like plan this way and everything that we've done
Yeah.
up in these episodes to have it be so just random and
Yeah.
fun and organic. But this is it was meant to be.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I
Rhett,
mean, I don't
tell us-
know. We had this planned a long time ago. Maybe you guys set this
Yep,
all
yep.
up, you know?
It hurts to be this good. Yep, I planned this all out. Actually, everyone in there is Crazy Harry. That's
Yeah.
how I did it. I made
All
sure
the
that
slips
every
are
Dude,
crazy.
that's a good hat right there. That's a good hat.
Right.
Jerry Nelson would be very proud.
Yes, yeah. Oh, good note. Good note.
Do you want to tell us why you love Crazy Harry so much?
I guess yeah. So, I guess growing up, I had like all the Palisade figures. I don't know if you guys know what those figures are, but I love those figures. And
Mhm.
as a kid, they were like my toys. My parents, because I was born 2002, so I am young. I'm a young. So I guess with that, I saw all the old Crazy Harry stuff, and I saw, just all the explosions from season 1. And because like I remember when like the Muppet Show came out on DVD. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
that was crazy. I started with 2, like you can kind of see it back here if you're watching the YouTube. The Muppet Show VHS, those 2 back there were my first ever Muppet things. I watched those when I was
Oh.
like 3 months old. And
Oh,
then from
Awesome.
there, I was thankful to be born in 2002. I mean, while it's not the ideal time to be a Muppet fan for, the 3rd generation of fans, it's really perfect because Muppets were everywhere in stores. With that, they had the NASCAR
oh
stuff, they
yeah.
had
Yeah.
just everything all the time. So those Palisades also came out around that time too. And so I had all of them, and I had my Crazy Harry that like blew up. And
Oh,
I guess I'm kind of getting off track here, but I guess
No, no.
to signal why I love Crazy Harry, I don't know if it was just really like the special effects of like the explosions. I love Muppet explosions, and
oh yeah.
that's part of the reason why I can't stand some of the new Disney stuff is because I realize that a lot of that's not like kid friendly, like
Yeah.
what's, so I realized that blowing a Muppet's head off probably isn't too, kosher nowadays. But but I love Muppet Explosions, and so in turn you love Crazy Harry.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I love that. And I love the scene. I actually just posted it on my account not too long ago, where Gonzo and Crazy Harry have that
Yes.
little
I saw
like
that.
that one interaction that I think they only really ever have, at least to my knowledge.
Hmm.
But I just have always loved Crazy Harry, and oh, I just love it.
That's
Oh my
And
gosh.
you just don't get enough of him. And now
no,
I don't
Yeah.
like the look of him now, but they kind of
Mhm.
changed the look of him ever since like
yeah,
after like 2005. They kind of like revamped him, and I don't like how he looks now, but I love him in the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, totally.
That is Harry. That is him. I
Yeah.
know that they've kind of worked the character and a lot of these characters a bit to adapt to the times and all that, and we all kind of are about it. But I'm with you. The original version of him is the version. I mean, one of my favorite, like back in the day, growing up on so many of these characters. One of those characters that I loved, but I don't remember them ever saying, "Hey, that's Crazy Harry." Like you didn't know his name, you didn't
Mhm.
know who he was. You just knew, oh, okay, you see him, explosions are coming.
Right here it comes.
Explosion
Mhm.
action is coming, and you get excited as a kid. You're all ready for it and everything. Right?
Yeah.
And as they would bring the character back from time to time, you didn't know when the explosion was going to come,
Mhm.
so that was just as
Mhm.
exciting.
Yeah.
And his face is so like in
He's
a
so
weird.
crazed.
It is so crazed, but also maybe this says more about me than Harry. A little comforting. There's something a little like kind of like a
You
like
know he's gonna blow something
I
up.
know he's gonna blow some up, but I'm confident that he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I'm confident.
Yeah.
That man knows
Mhm.
his way around some dynamite.
Some explosions. You know,
Yeah.
he went to school. Definitely went to school for it.
Yeah.
I can't
And
prove
it's
that.
really random. Like even in the Muppet Show, there's episodes where he like maybe pops in once, and then there's episodes where he's there like nonstop. If you go to like
Yeah.
I'm really bad with sometimes the guest star names just because I was a kid and I just knew them as a Muppet Show guest star. But I
Yeah.
think it's the Ben Vereen episode, I believe, to my knowledge. He's in there all the time. It's like a running gag of that episode where he just keeps blowing stuff up. But it's just
Yeah.
like there's episodes where he
Oh,
barely gets in, and there's episodes where he just goes
yeah.
just like
I gotta
AWOL
watch that
and
one
just
again. Hmm.
Maybe
so.
that was the case because of a fact that we pulled was that they would ask the guest stars who their favorite
Yeah.
Muppet was,
Mhm.
and then they would like star with them. So maybe it was that person's favorite Muppet or
Oh,
something.
that'd be awesome. I love Ben
I mean,
Vereen,
yeah.
and that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
love
it'd
the
be
idea of Ben
cool.
Vereen loving
Yeah, it'd be cool, but I think that early in the Muppet Show, because that'd have been season one. I mean, it could have been that
Mhm.
could have been the case, but with that early in the show, I don't even know. I mean, unless
Yeah.
he was a really big fan of Sex and Violence, the pilot. I mean,
Right.
Yeah,
Crazy Hair
maybe.
is in there, but
He
Yeah.
was an interesting guy. Maybe.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
like how they utilized him like the most recently that I can think of in Muppets Most Wanted. They utilized him like a little bit in some of the heist stuff in that
Mhm.
movie.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
just like there's certain facts I have to like I hate fact checking myself, but on this stuff, I'm just such a stickler on if I get anything
No,
Oh,
we
I'm
wrong.
with
love
you.
it.
Yes, we
If
absolutely
I get
love that.
anything wrong, I'm just gonna like just freak out. So like I just have to look
Oh,
up
I can
one
relate.
quick thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I feel that
Okay,
way.
I was gonna say
With
I was pretty sure Matt Vogel does them now, but I was just double checking. A lot of the new puppeteers, I really don't know a lot
Yeah.
of their. I mean, I know all the new puppeteers, but to be honest, like the originals are kind of just what I know best.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but I guess it says Matt Vogel does it, but I mean,
Well,
obviously,
that
Crazy
makes
Harry's not.
sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not around too much anymore, but
Mhm.
Yeah. How would you guys describe Crazy Harry aside from his obvious love of explosions and such?
Hmm. Hmm.
mm,
I think he's like a little ball of energy. Like
Yeah.
he's always very enthusiastic. He's an
mhm,
enthusiastic guy. I think that he's smart too. Like you gotta be like smart to work with
Oh, yeah.
explosives and
Yeah.
stuff. And he's
Mhm.
good at
yeah.
taking directions.
And he's
I
great at listening to anyone say any word about explosions. I mean, to
He's
have
a
that
Right. Yeah,
hearing,
he's
great
always on
listener.
top of it. Yeah.
He's a very good listener.
he doesn't miss
Somehow,
any.
yeah, he somehow has good hearing while working with explosions. I
Right.
somehow
Yeah.
we've never seen it with
That's
your stuff, so I don't know how that worked out.
Supersonic
that's
here.
true. That's true.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's pretty laxed on OSHA.
Yeah. I think that the word skittish may have been invented after Crazy Harry
Ooh,
was invented
yeah.
because he feels very like the definition of
Yeah, he's
skittish.
got that
Very
scraggly
jittery,
look.
jittery. Maybe jittery is the right word. Maybe that. Maybe.
He's like a espresso bean of a Muppet.
But I'm with you. There's something about him that also like I again feel confident. Like he does seem
Hmm.
what's his name with the fish?
New Zealand.
Yeah, thank
Oh,
you.
New Zealand, yeah.
I always do this. I always do this with him. He's one of my favorites, and I always do that with his name. But with him with the fish, I don't feel like he's calculated with it. I feel like he's just chucking fish.
Oh yeah.
With Crazy Harry, I feel it's a little more calculated, even though it's spontaneous. It's
Yeah.
spontaneous and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love you brought up New Zealand because that's another Jerry Nelson character. And
Okay, cool.
yeah, and Jerry Nelson, I mean, obviously, like if you like calculate out who had the most characters, obviously Jim and Frank have the most, but
Yeah.
Jerry Nelson is honestly like it's on the bottom of the most like kind of well-known characters. I mean, you get Floyd, you have Robin, I guess, and then you have like New Zealand and Crazy Harry who like kind of come in and become more prominent kind of in like season. I mean, Lou kind of becomes more prominent in like season 3, but like.
Mhm.
I don't know. I always kind of felt bad for Jerry because he did have some family things going on in the time. I think you guys even touched on it in one of your guys' facts at one point. But his daughter, and so he did have some things taking him out of the thing. But I always just love his characters too. I think he does a really good job of like just like having that manic character. I mean, Lou's just
Yeah.
a very crazy character, and then you have Crazy Harry, but then you go to the
Right.
complete opposite and you go Floyd, and but I guess yeah,
Yeah, he's got range.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
And a
that is
great
kind of
and great view vocal. I mean, if you go to freaking Frogger
Oh,
Rock, oh
yeah.
my gosh. I know
Yes.
you're not a big Frogger Rock
Yeah,
fan,
you talk to me. You talk to me about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
but
I'll cover my ears.
his voice is
So
unbelievable.
legendary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of a shame to be in a shadow in a sense of like
Mhm.
not being recognized more. But we
Yeah,
could do
and
that in this episode.
Yeah.
and I think it's in the Jim Henson biography. But there was a time, and like I said, I think this is in a book. So for where the book got the info, I don't know. But there was a time I think when during one of the readings of the Muppet Show when I think he read and he didn't have very many lines in that episode. Just his characters didn't have any lines, and I think he like threw the script in the trash and ran out. Like he just was like, I mean, like
Oh wow.
so there was probably some tension around it at the time, but.
Maybe.
But I just, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard when you have some characters that kind of just are really good side characters. I mean, Floyd's a great
Yeah.
side character, and Robin's Robin, but
Shade thrown at Robin.
I like Robin. He's fine. He's fine. I love him in the Muppet Show, but
Yeah.
Has his
he's-
moments.
yeah, he has his moments.
He's no Scrappy Doo, at least. He's no.
I mean,
Okay.
hey, he had a really hit song in the UK when he freaking put out Halfway Down the Stairs. I mean, pro him. He's hitting
Yo,
charts.
he got more hits than I got. More good hits.
True. Same here. Yeah.
Well, should we put Crazy Harry in this Muppet scenario?
Let's do it.
Mhm.
All right.
Well, I mean,
Let's see. I'm so excited that we pulled a Muppet that you were
That's so
super
good.
psyched about. That's awesome.
Can you picture this Muppet sitting at the dinner table with you and your family?
Ooh.
Nobody say anything related to fire.
Yeah, no. Oh man.
Yeah.
Any words of like any foods that involve bombs or fire
Right.
or explosions or anything like that. No.
Salad is the bomb.
Yeah, no descriptive words
Did
about
somebody
anything
say bomb?
Yeah.
That's a great impression.
It's good. It was good. Oh yeah, yeah. I could picture it. I don't picture it going well. But I could picture it.
Right. I think like I could picture it. My family's a little explosive themselves, so I could see it working well on Grandpa James's side.
Oh yeah, yeah.
With the Italian side.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I wasn't gonna say anything because I don't like to like claim or sound like that or anything. But Harry comes across a little Italian to me,
Oh,
and I could
really?
we could say
You're
that
gonna
we
claim
could say yeah. And I feel only because Italians, your traditional many Italian families like ours, they scream "I love you" at you. They can't even like do that normally. Like normally, "I love you," but with their "I love you," it's very loud and passionate. And it's always on the top, and
Yeah.
I feel like Harry fits that pretty well.
Yeah.
He would fit very well in our family. Red, is your family a little animated at all? How would he fit in yours?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I mean, I could see him being like a really crazy friend I met in college and bringing him home and being like,
Yes,
"Hey,
yeah.
this is my small town," and I think he would just have a blast whoa, and that was
Nicely done. Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I don't know if my family would love him, but
Yeah.
I would love him more.
You'd really
I
Right.
I wouldn't let him come close to the Muppet Collection. I would just be, I
gonna
mean,
ask. Yeah.
I would maybe like take out a couple of my pieces of him and be like, wow, look at this. And then I'd be like, yeah, but we're not gonna go upstairs because I'm worried I'm gonna say something wrong.
That's priceless. Yeah. Might have to help your parents redecorate after Harry's visit.
Yeah. Yeah, put the fine china away. Yeah, you definitely
Yeah.
put that kind of stuff away.
Love
Mhm.
put it away.
But I think he'd be a very at the same time, I feel like he'd be polite to,
That,
for as
honestly.
polite as Crazy Harry could be. I mean,
Oh,
Yeah.
and if you give him a lot of love, I mean, there's the one episode, and I feel I'm gonna look back and hate that I can't remember it, but there's one episode in season 3 where there's a guest star that like loves Crazy Harry, quote unquote. I don't know if she actually really does in real life or if that was kind of just the script, but
Right.
like she's giving him so much love and like he just like eats it up and he's super nice. So maybe
Aw.
so
Huh, yeah.
there's a chance if you just give him a bunch of love
yeah,
and you
you
just
gotta
love him.
flatter him a little bit.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's kind of
Mhm.
like
So
when
yeah.
you befriend like a chimpanzee or something. They're kind of like crazy, but then you
You have very nice eyes, Crazy Harry. Very expressive. Very,
Yeah.
very
Oh,
Steve Buscemi-esque. Very
Oh,
in a complimentary
that's
way.
perfect.
I
I
love
love
Steve
Steve
Buscemi.
Buscemi, yeah.
Love Steve Buscemi. Love
I would love to like comb his hair.
him.
Like have him sit in front of me like a little kid and just like comb his hair, give him a little spa day.
I love the idea
Mm.
Chill out,
of
Crazy
you
Harry.
combing his hair, but his hand is on the thing, and
Right,
like
he's
it just
just ready.
don't get a tag. Don't get a
Like give me a 10-second warning, Harry, so I can get
I would like to just be in a lot of explosions with him because if you look, there's no
Yeah.
Muppet guest stars that die. So I mean,
Oh
Right,
yeah,
for all
yeah.
we
yeah.
know, maybe he's just very, very strategic on how he does it because he only really ever like blows up Muppets. I mean, he doesn't really
Yeah.
ever blow.
Right.
I mean, he shoots people in the air. I mean, Ben Vereen's like
Oh, yeah.
hanging from the ceiling,
Yes,
but
yeah.
I would be shame. I would hang from a ceiling with him. I don't
Oh
care.
yeah, definitely. I would. There's certain things where you feel honored to be a part of. That would be an honor to have
Absolutely.
that
Mhm.
happen. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just take him out to our cornfields around here and just be like, "Yo,
Yeah.
it doesn't even matter if we blow stuff up, man. Let's just start
There's all this
throwing
room for
them."
you. Oh,
Oh my
I can only
gosh.
imagine like a little tear comes down his eye as he sees the corn, all this room for him to blow things up, and it's okay.
Best day of his life.
Yeah. I love that. I
That's
love it.
amazing. Now I just want like a movie of him going with you to your hometown and just causing a bunch of ruckus.
And I love when here's another one of those things that I love about the Muppet universe too, when they break the fourth wall stuff,
Yeah.
but they
Mhm.
bring with them like cartoon rules. Like you
Yeah.
explore real life, obviously that's gonna hurt,
Yeah.
But in the
Mhm.
cartoon, in the Muppet universe, you could explode and you're just, got some soot on
They
you
brush
and your
it off.
hair's crazy, Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
like
cartoon
Beaker and
rules
shit.
in real life.
Mhm.
I like
Yeah.
that when that happens.
I like that cartoon rules.
Mhm.
That's a fun one.
Yeah. Should we pull out of the next hat?
Yeah, I guess so.
Are we
Yeah.
ready?
Oh, it's you.
Oh, right.
Hold on, we got to get better at that.
I know lately we've been getting off track.
Rhett, I'm sure you're busy enough, but maybe if after this we could talk him into being the guy that's just on the side to just keep track
He's
of this
like,
stuff for
"No,
us.
no, no."
Jump in every once in a
Yeah.
while in episodes.
Because Sweetums lose track too.
Well,
Like,
I mean, yeah,
he
we've
doesn't
been,
even
we've been
know.
working pretty hard.
All right. Okay. When you trust this Muppet to keep a secret.
Ooh, huh?
Yeah.
Hmm.
When you hear the word trust at first, you're like,
Yeah, I
oh,
was
Harry.
immediately no. I was immediately like, but
I feel like Harry is like full of secrets, honestly. If I look at
Oh
him,
yeah.
like, yeah, he's got a few secrets that he's gonna take to the grave with him.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think I would trust him.
Huh?
I think he's like one of those, like he's like quiet until obviously he does his explosion stuff. But
hmm
I feel like I would trust him. I would trust
Yeah,
him with
he's
it.
just like sneaking around the Muppet Show. I mean,
Yeah.
they probably know where he keeps his explosive, but I don't think we know. I mean, he has a whole room
Yeah,
of them
no.
somewhere. That or he just has a really big
A
backpack that we
bunker.
don't see. So he's just
Yeah.
like lurking around, just waiting, just listening to everyone. He's like, "What is Gonzo talking about?" Nah, not nothing. And then he goes, "Oh, Statler and
Oh my
Waldorf just said
gosh.
something." Boom,
Yeah, he's got this like catacombs underneath the Muppet Theater.
dude.
does
I
get
actually
around
would.
pretty easy. He shows
Yeah.
up It's just right there.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh,
Mhm.
wow.
We went going back to the hearing thing. We know he's a good listener. We know,
Yeah.
so he
True.
definitely probably got some. You're right. He's probably got a ton
Oh.
of secrets.
Oh my
Oh yeah, he
gosh.
probably hears without dude, that's a good point. With how much he hears, he probably knows every secret in the Muppet Theater, regardless of who
He
who
may
even
know
tells
more
him.
than
Oh
anybody. He
my
may be the
God.
one that knows more than anybody. Interesting.
I love this like oh, what was I gonna say? I love this canon of Harry being the secret keeper of
Yes,
the Muppet
yes.
Theater.
We're also, without it trying to, turning him into the Phantom of the Opera. We're also
Yeah.
slowly like kind of turning him into like the Muppet of the
can
Opera,
see him with
which
that
I love.
mask on.
Yes.
Uncle Deadly's got that for the Muppet
Yeah.
Theater.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Got
He's
the
kind of
part.
got that market cornered.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, they're probably like tight. They're probably just like they probably see
I
each other in
could
the
see that.
catacombs and they're just like,
Oh, yeah.
"Hey, what up?"
Yep,
Hey,
yep,
just, like,
just gonna scoot
pass
on
by
past
each other.
you.
Passing the ships passing in the night. Just hey, you, hey,
We're still on for
And
dinner.
Crazy
Yeah.
Harry's like,
go to
I
freak
love-
somebody
I
out. Go
love-
and explode something.
I love the way Jerry Nelson like shakes his head like crazy.
Yes.
And he's like,
Yes.
like just like
So
I
good.
love that like expressiveness because that puppet
Yeah.
really isn't like it's not like a Gonzo or like one that you can like raise the eyebrows or anything. So to have puppets like that are still so expressive but don't have any built-in expressive like features
Yeah.
is crazy, and that you really just can tell the puppeteer is just amazing.
It's a
Yeah.
really good note. That's a really good note on that.
Yeah, you stole the
Mhm.
words out of my mouth too, that it's one of the most expressive Muppets. Very
Mhm.
iconic too, for being
Yes.
like a quote unquote nicher like Muppet. Very
Yeah. Mhm.
Going back to being kids when these characters are first coming out and you're really getting to see them, but we can't go look them up online. We can't figure that so
Yeah.
you're just kind of like, oh, it's that guy that I really like.
Yeah.
The
I love
explosion
him.
guy.
I'm so, and you get so excited when you see them.
Yeah.
You're also though kind of waiting, like, did somebody say his name? What's his name? I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
They don't really say it very often.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as a kid, like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but like, I know the Palisades had like the names on the boxes, but a lot of those I think my parents just got from eBay where like they weren't in the boxes. A lot of them though. I mean, if you're a collector and you have ever unboxed a Palisade, you know what I'm talking about. But the smell on those things is just next level. But
Yeah.
what I liked what I was saying. Some of those niche characters they did make Palisades of. I mean, they made Phil Van Neuter. I think you guys talked about him
Yeah.
once. They made, I can't remember who else. I mean, they made just a bunch of random ones and Crazy Harry and all those. And I was like a little kid. I was like just like barely able to like play with toys. And I was like, oh, Crazy Harry. And like,
Aw.
we had like Beauregard and like random characters that a lot of people don't know the names of that are just kind of
Yeah.
chilling there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy on those little names that people can pick up. And I assume other people did too. I mean, even if they're little
Yeah.
too, you pick
Yeah.
up that
Yeah.
stuff.
That's so awesome. And I'm really glad that you're here for this episode to get that perspective.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
Mhm.
super cool. So now we get to do our second poll from
Yeah.
our new edition of our Patreon hat with
Yeah.
our very special guest.
Thank you again, Rhett, for joining us.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I love listening to you guys' stuff, so it's fun to be on it.
Aw,
I do
thank you.
apologize for making you work so much, though. If you wouldn't mind grabbing out of the hat, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
Oh, you want to do it? Yeah.
it's turned it.
Oh, that's right. Okay, well, I'm just gonna get him closer. So, yeah, we got it.
Watching this is just
Nicely done,
amazing.
dude. That was perfect unison. That was great. Oh, and this comes to us from Awesome. So shout out Awesome.
Woohoo!
Would this Muppet be good at performance-based poetry?
Ooh.
Huh. Absolutely.
I kind
I-
of like the idea of a sophisticated Harry, hair slicked back,
Oh, I
Mhm.
love.
snaps.
He's got a little bit of a beatnik already look to him. So yeah, leaning into that, and he just goes up there, bombs, explode. It's all like he sets the tone, he sets the mood. It's a good 30 seconds of quiet. You don't know what he's gonna do. And just bebop a loop, boom, just bomb.
Explosion.
Yeah.
I like the word of. I like him doing spoken word poetry. I like
Yes.
the idea of him doing slam poetry. I like that.
Ooh,
I like
yeah,
that.
explosion poetry.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's.
What do you think, Rhett?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you do good. Yeah, you definitely have to like he'd have to set it up that you could have the explosions in there like set up And he would. I'm not saying
Oh,
he
yeah.
wouldn't plan it
Oh,
out,
yeah.
but he would have to do that just because, like, if he throws them in random, I think it would take away from the performance. So I know he would add them
Yes.
in
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
like have great like choreography. Gosh, I couldn't say that word. He'd have it all timed out perfectly to explode right when he like takes a pause. He just like blah blah blah. Boom.
I like that. What about
I
you?
do too. Yeah, I think that he would be fantastic in it. I think
And
that he has an emotional side we haven't seen. And
Oh, I
Mhm.
love this. Yeah.
but
Yes.
also like coexisting that with his love of explosions. We could maybe see why he loves explosions so much in his written poetry.
I love the idea of him going up
true.
there and reciting, like Robert Frost or something like that. He's got the audience right there with him, and then just explosion at the end. No, just right perfectly timed at the end.
Yeah, and I should take the path less followed.
I would love it if like so say he has all of them all like set up and ready, like already charged, and he
Yeah.
has like the panel from like the Muppet movie where he's like
Oh,
messing with stuff,
yeah.
and he
Yeah.
just is like he's just sitting up at this thing, and he just like he finishes his sentence and he pulls on the lever and it goes, and then he just like because I feel like it would take away if it was already just set up and he didn't have to push anything.
Yeah.
I feel like he'd want to actually physically trigger it, but he doesn't have
yeah.
time to light it. But ideally, I think you would have that set up with the Muppet movie like panel, and then at the end, someone like Beauregard or someone pulls it out, and he's just sitting there with the bomb, just holding it, and it's just lit and just timing down the fuse, and while he's finishing it, and when he finally finishes, he goes boom. I just feel like that'd be the
That-
best
Yes.
performance.
Yes. Yeah.
That is
yeah.
precisely how it would go.
Standing
Yeah.
ovation for that. Yeah.
That's
I love it.
beautiful.
Oh, that was well
I can
done.
see it in my head. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was beautiful, and I would have my snaps at the end.
Oh, yes.
Oh, and I would love that episode of the Muppet Show. I would be like,
Mm.
oh yeah,
I'd be freaking out. Yeah, be freaking out.
yeah.
Yeah, the watchability would be very high.
I never thought of this
Mhm.
before, but the inspiration in The Simpsons and Itchy and Scratchy is pretty clear that it's Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
But I wonder if there's a little of Crazy Harry thrown in there because there's some chaos in there. There's quite a bit of
Very
explosions and yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, well, before we wrap up this episode, Rhett, do you have any favorite moments with Crazy Harry?
Okay, so I obviously love that one interaction with Gonzo and Crazy where like
Yes.
Gonzo catches the cannonball. I love that interaction just because like Gonzo's like in the lovely assistant Crazy Harry, and you just get a close up of Crazy going like, and it's like it's
Yeah.
just like
Perfect.
it's just
Perfect
like
shot.
so I love that. The Muppet movie, that one's just iconic. I just love that one. Where it's like Crazy Harry plays with electricity and like he like just blows everything out. I love that. I'm trying to think. Obviously you have to go with Muppet Show because
Yeah.
for movie wise, he's barely in Caper. He's just kind of in the background of Happiness Hotel.
Yeah.
So you have to go with Muppet Show for many really good Crazy Harry moments. So I would choose those two. That one episode of the Muppet Show, I looked it up actually just because I was so mad that I couldn't pull up the guest star's name from the top of my head. But the episode of the Muppet Show, that one is the Gene Stapleton episode. He has a
Oh,
lot of good
okay.
moments in that one.
Mm.
So if anyone's wanting good Crazy Harry content, that episode's
Yeah.
filled with them because he
Ooh,
actually has a
yeah.
lot of content in that one.
Ooh.
So that's a good moment with him. There's also the one episode again, like I said, I can name every Muppet and every freaking sketch, but guest stars sometimes slip my mind. So
That's
it's
totally okay.
it's the episode where they are out of electricity and the power and like the theater's down, and then it's like the newsman he's on, and he's like, I can't see anything, can someone bring a light in here? Or I don't know if that's the exact line, but I'm pretty sure. And
Like that.
and you just see like a dark version of Crazy Harry holding like a big like candle, a big huge dynamite stick candle, and it's just like, oh thank you. And then he's just like saying the news, and all of a sudden boom. Like I love that moment too because that one's
Oh
so
my
funny.
gosh.
The newsman and Crazy Harry. Oh,
Wow.
that's perfect.
You love to see it.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, what about you guys?
Ooh, it was so crazy that you posted that scene with Gonzo and Crazy
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
growing up, I only had those two VHS tapes of the Muppet Show, the original one.
Mm.
And the one with John Cleese was the one that I had. So when
Oh
I
yeah.
saw that on your page, I was like, this is so nostalgic. Why? And I was like, oh, it's from that episode.
Yeah.
So I think that's
Mhm.
honestly mine too. 'Cause it's just so
Yeah.
funny. And then at
I
the
love that episode.
I know
That's
it's like
so
one of
good.
the best. And then afterwards, when John Cleese is trying to fix Gonzo's arms, and
Yeah. And
oh my
he's
god,
like,
I
you
love
said you wanted your arms to be the same length. Now I can't tie my shoes.
I love he's like, pull yourself together, and he leaves the
Yeah,
room.
yeah, I know.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So that's probably mine.
Yeah, definitely mine. Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
I hate to, but that's 3 for 3. I mean, because that's the one that
It's just
stood
such
out
a
in
good
my head.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the, especially the scene that you were talking about when the power goes out. I think as a kid that was an iconic episode.
Yeah.
That was a big one, and yeah, that's perfect because you also get the a silhouette of him. You get a little,
Mhm.
this is
So
a,
funny.
a great silhouette. Great.
I'm gonna have to watch that clip or
Oh,
that
yeah,
episode
yeah.
because I could see it in my head when you're describing it. It just sounds so funny.
It doesn't have
And
everyone, but almost every Muppet that we go into, I end up going down a rabbit hole on that character. I'm going to do it.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's a really good YouTube video. I don't know the account, but on YouTube there's a really good account that makes compilations of Muppet Shows things. They've made like compilations of Gonzo's trumpet openings, and you can kind of see if you're
Oh,
on watching the
cool.
YouTube. I bought like a big huge old like store that was from like some store sign, and I have Gonzo
Yeah,
sitting
you
there.
see that.
Well, anyway, that YouTube has a compilation of like those openings. They have compilations of other things, but they have one of just Muppet explosions. Obviously, not all of them are Crazy Harry, but I'm pretty sure they
Mhm.
have that newsman scene, and they have a lot of other good ones. So I'm not getting paid to promote that YouTube, but I'm just
No,
saying that's a good
check that
YouTube video
out.
if you're
Yeah.
looking for Crazy Harry
Yeah,
videos.
that's perfect. Thank
Mhm.
you.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
thank you so much for joining us, man.
Yeah, thank you so much. This has been so fun, and we definitely have to have you back on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And I
you
have one more
good.
thing for the YouTube video.
Yes.
For
Yes.
those that
I
are
love it.
watching, I went and grabbed my Crazy Harry
Oh
Palisades
yeah.
figure. So for those that are watching, you can see this. I've always loved this character. It was came out really early on in the set. And so so obviously you can tell mine's beat up because I loved Crazy Harry. My sister would play Barbies while I played with my Palisades in the Barbie house, and a
Awesome.
lot of Barbies were killed, and a lot of Kens were too.
Yeah.
It just,
Yeah.
yeah,
Casualties.
unfortunately. But
Yeah. Rest in
it
peace.
came with there's also a little canister that you can put your dynamite and your little like plastic bomb.
Oh,
Um,
so cool.
but I think Zoot's sitting on it in my case, and I didn't want to mess with him.
Yeah.
So, but this thing is actually really fun for those that are watching the YouTube video. If you push down on the plunger,
It actually goes down.
yeah, and I don't know if it's just like putting it on my finger, but it actually like breaks off and
Oh,
like it
So
explodes.
cool.
So
Oh, and it worked really
shoots
good
it
too. That
off.
was awesome.
Yeah, so yeah, for those that are watching that, I hope it caught it on the camera.
it did.
But yeah, you kind of act like it explodes, and there's just a little spring in here that shoots it off.
Oh my god.
So
The
That's so
design
yeah.
fun.
detail they put into those toys.
Yeah,
these
the
I can talk for
interaction.
days about Palisades. Oh my goodness, I love my Palisade collection.
So incredible what the work that they put into them.
Oh yeah, unbelievable.
That's so fun. Thank you for pulling that out.
Yeah,
That just
yeah.
is a great tie-in to Full Circle. Beautiful ending.
Yeah.
No, yeah, he was
Right.
he's so on the Palisades line, there's like this animal drum set set, and he's actually like hanging on like the rafters of that set, like holding his TNT and stuff. So eventually I have to put him back on there, but it wasn't too hard to pull him out. I just like
Oh,
grabbed him.
yeah. Thank you so much. That was so cool to see.
In my head, as we do these, we collect episode and friends and everything to take along with this journey. I keep picturing in my head the opening of the Muppet movie, and you have the flash of the audience and all the Muppets out there. And I like
Mhm.
the idea of all of us in there. And as we add and we pull new Muppets, we add them to the collection.
Oh,
And sitting
Yeah,
next to
yeah.
you in the studio, sitting next to you in the auditorium is Crazy Harry.
oh, yeah. You guys are
You're sitting right next to each
conversing
other. Yeah.
together.
I love that you brought up the Muppet movie again because I totally escaped my mind. There's a great Crazy Harry moment in that opening scene. He's sitting
Oh,
next to
yeah, you're
Dr.
right.
He's sitting next to Dr. Teeth, I believe. And I believe it's him. And he's like, this movie's dynamite, and bang. It's just like, and like honestly, the special effects for that movie, I don't, for at least to my knowledge, I think they probably did a little differently because there's kind of almost a little bit of a glitter in the sky when he does that.
Yeah.
And I love that special effect because it looks and just that opening scene's so great. But
Yeah.
don't
It
even
is.
get me
Oh,
started on
yeah.
that.
Absolutely.
I love having Crazy Harry in there just sitting there because like he's
Yeah.
barely even in the Muppet movie. Like, why did he get
Yeah,
invited to
yeah.
that screening?
Yes, yeah.
Because they're all
How did he get a ticket?
family.
How did he-
Thank you for bringing that up. I
Yeah.
totally, while I'm editing, I probably would have kicked myself for forgetting that.
Absolutely. I
That's
know.
a great Crazy Harry moment.
Yeah.
Well, Rhett, thank you so much for joining us on our little Muppet game, and we're so happy that you wanted to be on here, and we're honored. I'm still like
Very much.
processing that you came on the show. So thank you
Yeah,
so much.
thanks for having me again. Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys will have to catch us on Patreon for our little conversation about your awesome collection.
Mhm.
I'm super excited to dive into that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too.
yeah,
Cool.
but for now, we'll say bye to all of our favorite Muppet fans.
Yeah.
So we'll catch you guys later.
See you next time. Thanks again.
Thank you. This episode's been a bomb.